Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Shit's about to hit the fan. Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays on Wrestling with Freddie.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays, the show that you asked for because our episodes are too damn short. So here we go. It's a short episode, as Thursdays always are. Don't worry, we'll only have 17 commercial breaks. Let's start the show. All right, we're not going to waste any time, Jeff. We're getting right into it. This one is from Robbie Nielsen 5. I know you'll get this question a lot, but any updates on the Frederation? Yeah, let me be completely straight up and get this out of the way, because I think I've hinted at it in an earlier episode, but I didn't really give the details. So this was, and still is, but right now it's a dream that's on hold. This was a huge dream of mine, and I got really friggin' close. At the end of the day, what I wanted to buy wanted to be sold for more than what I could bring to the table. And other companies have, like WWE and AEW, have, infinite amounts of cash. And I have what's the opposite of infinite? A finite amount of cash. So after the LA fires, we decided to move because we were really close to where all that went down. It literally hit our street when we were evacuated. And so we moved. So my wrestling money went into buying a beautiful home for my family that we feel very safe and comfortable in. And the dream will have to come about a different way. I haven't given up on it, but I did have to shelve it based on life and circumstances and tough business negotiations that I just wasn't able to get a favorable position in. So I appreciate the question, Robbie Nielsen, and that's the answer for all of you. I'm not giving up on it. It just has to be on hold while I make a couple movies. All right, coming up next. This one's coming from AZ666, the number of the devil. What are your favorite restaurants around Los Angeles? Yo, you think I'm going to tell you my favorite spots so you can be there and then ask me some questions about the Frederation? Listen, man, I'll give you some restaurants, but I can't give you my top dog because then everyone knows about it. I'll tell you this, and I screwed up, man. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was this, and it's still there. It's an amazing restaurant. I still go there. It's called Asanebo. It's a sushi restaurant in the Valley on Ventura Boulevard and Radford, right in that area right there. And everybody should go there. But it used to be this secret spot. It opened up in 1997, end of 96, beginning of 97. And I used to go there because Japanese restaurants would always let you drink, even if you weren't 21. They didn't care. They just want your money. So that's a good tip for all you 18-year-olds that like to drink. Go to Japanese restaurants.
I used to have a shirt that I bought in Japan that said, Japan serves alcohol to children, and that's all it said on it. I thought it was a funny shirt. I bought it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So anyway, I told these actors that were on a TV show back then. I was friends with one of them, and I told him, and I brought him to this restaurant. And I said specifically, but don't tell your friends, because his friends were like the people who call the paparazzi and tell them where they're going to be so that they get photographed when they come out, and then they act all annoyed that they're being photographed even though they're the ones that called. I was like, don't tell your friends because they're all going to, make this place super trendy and popular, and I don't want to get photographed coming in and out of here. It's like this secret hole-in-the-wall spot. He's like, yeah, no problem, bro, no problem. That weekend happens. That Monday, I see photos of his whole cast coming out of that restaurant. And I was like, I called him. I said, damn it, bro. I told you. He was like, oh, sorry, man. It was no big deal. I was like, no, it is a big deal. And then the next time I went, I got photos. So I stopped going for 2 years because I hated that crap so much. But it's called Asanebo. It's in the Valley. I go there again now because now none of those a-holes go there anymore. And yeah, I called them a-holes. They were a-holes. So deal with it.
They were a-holes.
I'll tell Jeff who they were off the air. But yeah, so Asanebo, it's in the Valley. It's an awesome spot. If you like Italian food, there's a great place called Scratch, which is like this sneaky speakeasy spot. You make a reservation and then you got to kind of find it. It's in this not an unmarked shopping center, but just a very nondescript shopping center, and they don't have a sign on the door, so you kind of just got to walk around until you find it, and it's annoying, but once you get in, you're like, oh wow, this is really worth it. So those are your two recommendations. Jeff, what do you recommend?
I'm a simple man. I'm not a foodie. Okay. I could tell you 12 great bars from when I was drinking, and I could tell you 5 great cigar lounges that are near where I live that I frequent. But I'm not a big food guy. I'm always ordering in. Just last night I had Postmates. I ordered a sugarfish Really good sushi place.
Good
It's whatever.
sushi.
It's hardly a secret. But I will say, if you're ever in the valley of Los Angeles, there's a place called Hugo's.
Yeah.
And it's just like a healthy diner. But it isn't so healthy that it doesn't taste good. And it isn't so dinery that you feel guilty about eating it. It's just a really good diner called Hugo's.
I have eaten at Hugo's on many a brunch, and I completely agree with Jeff's endorsement. Next week, we'll tell you guys where the best cigar bars in the valley are.
Yeah.
Next up. And we were really nice to you, AZ, considering you have the number of the beast.
Yeah, I thought about going, I'm not answering this for anyone that has 666. I tell everyone, do what you'd like, but don't do what you'd like with the devil. That's a bad thing.
Yeah, man, the devil's bad. All right, this one comes from Sky's the Limit 2021. Do your respective partners have problems when you're hooking up in a movie?
Great question.
No, my ex-girlfriend did, which is one of the reasons why she's my ex. She thought that it was like cheating, and so we broke up. And then she was the one who actually cheated in real life. And I was like, what the hell? Like, at least I got paid for it.
2021, this is the best question ever, and I'll tell you why. I've had a theory about this forever. Because these actor guys, these actor guys and gals, they're always going...
Tell me about me.
Yeah, I will. They always go, oh, gosh, it's just a character. It's just a character. Oh, my gosh, it's not real. It's like, dude, when I get turned on when I get a massage. I don't know how to turn it off just because it's acting. Also, with acting, you get so into it that I don't know how I wouldn't have feelings or emotions if I start kissing on someone or hooking up with someone. So I respect actors that they're able to not make this a thing, but I know I wouldn't be able to. I don't know how the heck they do it.
So I know a lot of actors who do have issues with it, like what you're saying, and can't deal with it, and they don't date other actors simply because of that. Like, they can't handle it. I also know some actors whose spouses that are not in the business who hate the fact that their spouse has to kiss somebody else. So there are insecurities that can drive those types of feelings, right? My insecurities are other stuff. I'm more self-hate. That stuff is like, I'm probably horrible at this too. Fuck. Like, that's more where my insecurities lie. But they've never lied in there. Like, I've never worried about Sarah liking somebody that she worked with. And she's never had to worry about that either. I'm friends with most of the women that I've had to have an intimate scene with on camera. Like, Rachel Lee Cook and I are still super friggin' tight. And she was like the first girl I think I smooched on camera. But there was no like, oh my gosh, we just smooched, because she was more like a sister. Like, I looked out for her and she looked out for me. Like, it's that's sort of always been our relationship. And I think maybe because it was established like that for me, I've just always taken that approach with every single woman that I've had to have a smooch with on camera, where it's just like, nah, I'm here to look out for you. You're safe with me. Nobody's asking you for coffee later. Like, this is a job. And I think because of that, I've always maintained friendships with just about every female that I've worked with. Some we may not be friends, but we're not enemies. We just don't know each other because we had nothing in common. But yeah, that's an excellent question. Sky's the limit. And I hope we answered it adequately. Next on the list. This one comes from a friend of the show, Emma Frad, with 2 Ds. I'm not going to say fraud. That would be messed up, but I almost said fraud, but it's Frad for sure. Hey, Freddie, Alex, and Jeff. Oh, Alex getting some love. I wonder why this question made the list. What are each of your favorite wrestling matches of all time? In all of the times, as Santino Morello would say. Our producer, Alex, says he has 3 favorite matches. 3? She asked for 1, bro. 3 favorite matches. One was at WCW Starrcade 1997, where Sting defeated Hulk Hogan to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The next, this is what I was going to say. Oh, wait, maybe not. Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13, when they did the double turn. Dun, dun, dun. And finally, and much more recently, Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson, career versus title match at AEW All In 2024. Nothing beats that final countdown entrance ever. Those were excellent matches, producer Alex. I would say one of my favorites of all time is Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero when Rey wore the purple. That one was pretty awesome. I also loved Rey Mysterio versus Dean Malenko. You can pick a match. This was my WCW days back in the day, watching matches with my grandma in Puerto Rico on Christmas break and summer break when I would hang out in Boca Raton, and she would tape all the matches, and we would get to watch them over and over again. So those are some that I've watched like probably a million friggin' times, and definitely some of my favorites. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, the thing about asking favorites, guys, is sometimes you're going to get really obvious answers. People say, Jeff, who's the greatest comedians? And you're like, it's not really going to be that exciting because they'll be exactly who you think it's going to be. It's going to be the Carlins, the Pryors. It's going to be the Chappelles, the Louis. The answer's something you probably just could have looked up, because it's so obvious to everyone. So in the same way, my favorite match is an obvious one. It's the 2006 Punjabi prison match. Batista versus the Great Khalid. It was...
I love that you threw a D on the end like it's DJ Khaled. It was just Khalid. There's
I don't know how
D.
to say it. Wasn't it the great? There's no D in Khalid. The Great Khalid.
No, man. Well, in Khalid, there's a D for sure, but his name was the Great Khalid.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So you were right and wrong at the same time. Yeah, it was tough.
I think my favorite match, if I'm honest, all joking aside, was Undertaker versus Mankind in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It was just so cool and unpredictable. I didn't think any of that would happen. I spent years after that trying to convince everyone at my school that I had some sort of inside information and that wasn't supposed to happen. That's not how they wrote it up. I made it, I was basically lying to everyone, making it sound like this match was completely went off the rails and they really tried to fight each other. It was just so exciting, and not only do I have a tremendous amount of nostalgia for the match, but it also was awesome. It was just so cool, and we still talk about that match 30 years later.
This next one is just for me, Jeff, so ha ha ha.
Unreal.
And Jess Diaz 1217 says, how does it feel being back on the big screen? That's an awesome
You never
question.
weren't on the big screen.
No, I've done some small screen stuff and some big screen stuff, but this is the first movie I've done in quite some time that'll be on 3,000 screens plus nationwide and then worldwide. I don't know how many. So it's really exciting because a lot of movies don't get theatrical release these days because of streaming services constantly looking to buy product, and these film investors are going to sell to whoever gives them the most money up front. They want to make that money back as quickly as possible. You make a $2 million movie, on the average, they're only making like 200, 300,000 back on streaming. So you want to have a sale somewhere, like a pre-sale, so you can make that money back right away as quickly as possible with a distributor or with investors early on. If it's the distributor path, like my last one sold for more than we made it for. So that guy was happy and now wants to make another one with me. When you make a studio movie, it's completely friggin' different. Completely friggin' different. And this experience was lengthy. When you make an indie film, you're shooting in 3-4 weeks. This was a matter of months that we shot this over. There's reshoots, there's test screenings, there's test audiences that come in and I like this person, I don't like that person. And the studio sometimes listens to these random opinions, which is not always a good thing. Sometimes you have to trust in the vision of the director and just believe in that. When I was doing all the Miramax movies back in the day, like a test screening audience would literally rewrite the movie, basically. And the director's like, what about the idea that you bought from me? Like, why don't you believe in that? Let's die on the sword if we're gonna die. Let's not change the art. Like, you wouldn't have Picasso paint a painting and then the gallery owner takes it and shows it to people before it's for sale and it says, well, we have some notes, Pablo, and we'd like to do some changes before I put it. Like, that would never fucking happen. But in the corporate modern world of movies, it happens on every single film. Some people argue that it should, some people argue that it doesn't. The truth's somewhere in the middle. But yeah, so I'm super excited because it's a rarity, unless you're Tom Cruise, obviously, to get to do this. So super excited. It comes out July 18th. I Know What You Did Last Summer is the name of the movie, just like the first one. Hope you guys dig it. I think it's really, really solid. I'm really proud of the work that I did in it, and I hope you guys like it too. Next up, we're running out of time, so I'll be fast. This one comes from Jake Gowdy, _. How do you think WWE will change after Cena retires? I think you've kind of already seen that, Jake, when he was gone the first time. So I think this is just a quick story for John, and then it'll go back to getting this next generation over. Hopefully there'll be some time for Karrion Kross to finally get a friggin' push once this storyline's over. He can get more up on the top guys, because that dude's money on the mic and in the ring. So you look for opportunities like that for people when Cena retires. But yeah, I think it'll look similar. You'll see Cody get the strap and lead the crusade until they find that next guy, or they think they find that next guy. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't feel like much will change. Reality, this is how things go. You couldn't picture a time that they don't just push Roman Reigns in every pay-per-view and he wins every, main event. And then he goes away and, and it's not like anything's better because Roman isn't around, but now there's a new person that's on everything, so like when Cena's gone, it's just the way the world works. It's the way wrestling works. It'll be, like I said, or like you said, Cody will just kind of be the guy, I think. And then hopefully we've got so many of these young guys that are becoming big stars. So maybe one of them will be the next Cena. I don't know. But for right now, Cody is the guy, and I don't think it'll change that much.
All right, we got time for one more. Freddie, would you consider creative writing for WWE again if there's an opportunity? I'd never say no. I don't have any burnt bridges there, at least none that I burnt. I don't think anyone burned one with me. Nobody wronged me when I was there or anything like that. So, yeah, I'd consider it, but I'm definitely on a different path right now. So I don't see a scenario where that happens anytime in the near future. I have a question. Jeff, if you got an opportunity to write promos, to do dialogue, to do that kind of stuff in WWE, would you take that job? Would you take a couple months or a few months off from comedy and actually sit in a writer's room and do that? Or would it just be too much of a lifestyle change?
I think I would try it. But I would be so skeptical or not skeptical. I don't know if that's the right term. I would be so I would know right away if I could do this or if I couldn't do this. And right now, I'm open to thinking maybe I wouldn't be good at it. I don't really know. But I would try it just because I love wrestling so much. I've heard it's a pretty thankless job.
I think it's supposed to be a thankless job. That was kind of the approach I took. If your job is strictly to help get the talent over. If somebody's saying, hey, you did great on that, you're supposed to defer that and go, no, they did great. I just wrote it. They executed it. They did great. So it is, you're right in that regard, but I think it's supposed to be. And they let you know.
I love credit. I love getting my flowers. I love getting the attention. I don't want to. If my guy goes out there, he does the thing real good. I go, I wrote that. I came up with that. So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't be good at the job.
There were guys there that'd be like, hey, Freddie, you like that promo, that Kane promo? I wrote that. So there's still guys that did. I'd be like, yeah, man, it was good. Way to go.
But my love for wrestling would mean I couldn't turn it down. I'd be just so into it.
Take a swing anyway.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your questions. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them.
Yeah.
I'm Freddie Prinze. That's Jeff Dye. See you guys next Wednesday. Peace.
We're out.